Greetings, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Pond Scum. Turn on the mic so everybody can hear me out there tonight. We got a good one for you. Good guest. As always, I am your bastard of ceremonies, the #1 scumbag, Rex Ruger, Triple X Rex. You might also know me as the son of one Diamond David Lee Roth. That's right. I am the son of glam, the man with a plan, the front man for the band. Just got done smoking a few grams. I got a million fans, always going out with a bang. Shazam! A bop, bop, a doo, bop, a wop, bang, bang. That's right. As always, I move like the man. I sing like the man. I sashay like the man. And we got a good one for you tonight. Got a good guest for you that I think everyone on here is going to like. I even wore my best, as you can see, I wore my Mike Tyson shit for him. So hopefully he will dig that. This is a guy who, unlike a lot of the musicians I have on here who punch people's faces with their guitar riffs and their drums, this guy has punched faces a little bit differently. Yeah, this is the man, and I'm happy to have him. I'm excited. I'm very excited. Chop Chop Corley. It's so good to see you, my brother. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Don't let the long hair fool you. I see you laughing already, man. I'm a bona fide. I get busy with the hands.
Okay. I know that's right.
DeMarcus Chop Chop Corley, for those of you out there who don't know who the hell this face is right here, more than 2 decades in the game, former WBO junior welterweight title holder, 2001 to 2003. I've seen you referred to online as the welterweight gatekeeper. What does that mean to you when you hear welterweight gatekeeper? Does that mean when guys were coming into the division, they had to go through you?
Yeah, but it wouldn't be welterweight. It would be super lightweight.
Super welterweight. Okay, yeah, but you were the gatekeeper, though, right?
Yeah, and I'm still going. I ain't done yet.
So you are still fighting right now?
Yes.
You look like you're about to get busy cooking in the kitchen with that hat on.
I'm about to hop on this airplane in a little bit.
Oh, you got a flight tonight?
Yeah.
86 fights, 52 wins, 28 knockouts, crafty southpaw, had a great amateur career. Yeah, won the Nationals in 95, was it? The Golden Gloves Nationals?
Yep.
Who's the toughest guy that you fought along the way, either in the amateurs or in the pros?
The amateurs? I can't say in the amateurs. As a pro, there's a couple Mayweather, Marcos Madonna, Randall Bailey, Devin Alexander, Zab Judah.
Right. So, when I was looking at your past record, I see that, like, all the tough fighters that you've been in, whether or not you were on the wrong end of the decision or not, you took everybody the distance. You were no easy out for any of these guys.
I ain't coming to lay down, that's for sure.
No, hell no. And before I spoke to you tonight, I was going back and watching the Floyd Mayweather fight again. That's going back a lot of years. Did Floyd do anything in there that really, like, blew your mind? I mean, or did you kind of? I know you had sparred with him prior to that. What did you see from him when you fought him?
His hand speed.
Hand speed.
He didn't have punching power. He has great hand speed, and he has amazing ring and eye coordination.
Okay. So we're gonna sit here right now and we're gonna agree that he hits like a bitch, though, right?
Oh yeah, he can't punch.
He can't. I'm glad we heard it here out of Chop Chop's mouth. I spoke not that long ago to Angel Man Freddy, and he did not want to say it. I was trying to lure him into it, Chop Chop, but he wouldn't say it, man. He wouldn't say it.
I don't know how he punched at 135 pounds, but at 140, he couldn't punch.
He couldn't punch. No. What do you think when you see these gimmick fights nowadays of these guys that have, like, slaved away and grinded away for years and years and years, and then you see these fights come along like Jake Paul, or you see these gimmick fights where guys are getting these big paydays? Does it bother you? Are you for it? Does it hurt the sport?
It bothers me because you still have older fighters out there who are still putting the work in, but not
Right.
getting the paydays like these YouTubers are getting because they have so many followers.
Yeah, it is kind of a sad state of affairs. So you think that these fights are not ultimately good for boxing?
No, no. But the Jake Paul got a fight coming up with Hossein Rahman Jr.
Yeah.
And this is really going to make a statement for him if he does great.
He needs a real boxer's name on the resume.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
he
he's
does.
about to fight. He's about to fight one.
He's about to fight. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he sure is. Now, I had seen you. Currently, what are you doing? Are you doing bare knuckle fighting right now?
Not right now. We're getting ready to do another boxing match. It's Guns Down, Hands Up. Is an exhibition on the East
Okay.
Coast. It's to give back. I'm giving back to the community and to the boxing gyms. I got my own brand of merchandise. So I'm
Okay.
gonna give away boxing gloves and I'm gonna sign autographs and take pictures and I'm gonna bring one of my belts out. And
Okay.
then after this event is over with, I'm back in training, getting ready for a fight, most likely September or October.
Okay. And do you have an opponent yet for that fight?
No, not yet. We're working on one.
Are we working on getting you in the ring with Zab Judah again? Will that happen again? I know I'd
That
seen you in past interviews before. Zab don't want the smoke, right? Zab doesn't want it.
uh he may want it, but he can't have it because his last performance. That's my good friend. His last performance, the guy was on steroids, and
Yeah.
he beat Zab pretty bad, and Zab had bleeding on the brain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
so
So yeah,
he's not
obviously his
allowed to
health is the
fight.
most important thing. Yeah.
Yep.
Now, what do you think about a lot of guys that have been retired for a while that are starting to come back into the sport? I even see that Floyd is even talking about coming back as a full-on, fighter. No more of these gimmick fights. I saw some things buzzing around on social media. Now, do you think, as great as Floyd was, can he come back realistically at his age and compete with some of those young lions that are in the welterweight division these days?
No,
He can't, can he?
no.
So maybe you hit him a little too hard, Chop Chop. What's he thinking? I mean, he can't realistically come back and compete with the Boots Ennises and the Spences and the Crawfords.
Nah, I'm trying to get an exhibition with him. He don't even want to compete with me, and I'm a little guy.
But you were bigger than him when you fought, though, right? Or
We was the
considered the bigger.
same.
Well, you were considered the bigger man though, because you had fought it that weight though.
Yeah.
He was moving up when he fought you, right?
Right. Yep.
Yeah. So let me look at some of these other names on your resume here. Unanimous decision with Hank Lundy, Victor Postal, Provodnikov, Delorme, Maidana, Devin Alexander. All these guys that you managed to take the distance. What's the secret to it? Because these are guys who usually, a lot of these guys that I just mentioned are known for putting people away. For getting knockouts, for getting guys out of there early. What is it about Chop Chop? The greatest fucking chin in the business, or what?
I wouldn't say it's the chin. I would say it's learning the game of boxing, the
Okay,
craft. And
right,
I mean, right after I turned pro, I was in there with Sugar Ray Leonard, Spawn Ray,
right on.
Spawn Pernell Whitaker, Spawn Frankie Randall, working with Hall of Fame Mark Two Shop Johnson, Sean Bay Mitchell. I'm Spawn pros right after I just turned to pro, but I'm real still an amateur fighter. But I
Right,
was getting knowledge from a lot of Hall of Fame fighters.
right. Yeah, I was just up at the Hall of Fame this past induction ceremony. They had a lot of classes going in because of COVID, so they were held
Yeah.
back a little bit. So they had a lot of people going in. So what did you think when let me ask your opinion on one of these fights. Going back a little bit, the big heavyweight fight between Fury and Wilder, the fight
Hmm.
before the last one. When Mark Breland throws in the towel on Deontay Wilder and then Wilder's camp chooses to get rid of him. You like that move, or do you agree with what Mark Breland did? Would you stand by what Mark Breland did?
I stand by what the coach did. He was trying to protect Wilder because he was really taking a beating.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, he sure was. Now, the big fight that everybody wants that's on the horizon right now in the welterweight division is obviously Spence and Crawford. Uh,
Hmm.
it's on again, off again. Are we going to get it? Who's holding the fight back? Why is it not happening? But when it does happen, who do you like in that fight and why?
I like Crawford.
Yeah, me
Both
too.
um both of them are great southpaws. But Earl having showed me that he can put his head on a swivel
Yeah.
and slip and throw shots back.
Yeah.
Earl is pretty much straightforward. He's trying to break you down, which he know how to do.
Right.
He can break a fighter down and make him exchange with him to where he get him out of there, like he did Ugas.
Right. Right.
But Bud, he has that range where he got long arms. He know how to use his jab.
Yeah.
He can bang. He can box like Tommy Hearns. He know how to move his head pretty well, and he's very slick when he's in the pocket.
Right. Right.
On top of that, he can fight right-handed.
Yeah. 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 He sure can. Yeah. Yeah. He's
And
a
see,
dangerous guy. Yeah.
that's the difference from southpaw and right-handed fighters. A right-handed fighter can't see the shot coming
Right. Right.
from a southpaw side,
Right. Right.
and vice versa. Most southpaw are used to fighting right-handed fighters now, but
Right.
we're not used to fighting a southpaw fighter.
Right. Right.
So Earl got to get used to seeing the punches coming from both sides now,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he's gonna have to make an adjustment.
Yeah. 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 I see it shaking out the same way that you do. I like Crawford in that fight too. Me and my son kind of have a running bet if it ever does come because he's a big Spence guy. So I think I'm going to be taking a little bit of money off of him, hopefully.
Yeah, if Earl is able to get a knockdown,
Yeah.
he's gonna win the fight. But
Yeah.
if he's not able to knock Crawford down, Bud gonna win them rounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's gonna win. I got Bud winning 7 out of 6.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Seven out of 5. Take that back. 7 out of 5.
when you see obviously in this age of social media, everybody's on Instagram, everybody's on Twitter, you're kind of an old school throwback fighter. What do you think about all these guys that all get on there and talk all this internet trash, and then a lot of it really doesn't come to fruition, these fights? Do you like that, where guys get on and they pump their fights now on social media, or is it all just a lot of hot air?
I think it's a lot of hot air because when the fight do happen,
Yeah.
you got to put up.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't do too much talking, because what I say, I'm coming.
You were always a quiet guy.
Sure.
Yeah, you were always a pretty quiet guy.
You know, my record, 86 fights, speak for itself. Oh, he's coming. I'm coming to fight. So I don't got to do too much talking.
Yeah. Now, back in your day, around the time that you fought Floyd, when you were really, really in your prime, was there anybody there on that list? And you were in there with everybody. Was there ever a fight that you wanted, or a guy you wanted to get in the ring that didn't come about?
Yeah, I wanted Costa Zoo. I wanted a shot at Costa Zoo.
And you were a sparring partner of his, right? Leading up to the Mayweather fight.
I was Costa Zoo's sparring partner for the Sean Bay Mitchell fight.
Yeah, and what was it about? I know they always say styles make fights. What was it about Costa Zoo that made you think that you could beat him? Because obviously, back when he was fighting, for people that don't know out there, Costa Zoo, pretty mean motor scooter back in the day, right? He was a guy that could, he was a guy that a lot of people were not going out of their way to fight.
Yeah, he had some thunder in them hands.
Yeah. How do you like his son?
I think his son gonna do good. He got an upcoming fight with the Charlos.
Yeah, he's got a big one coming up. Yeah. Now, when you see, I asked you before, a lot of these older guys coming back, do you think that some of them ought to stay retired because of the health risks and all the stuff that's popped up recently, in sports with head injuries and concussions? Do you get concerned? Is there a line that you shouldn't cross over if you're going to come back? Like if you're at a certain age, or if you've had a certain amount of fights, where they should make you stay retired? Or do you think it's everybody's decision? Or do some guys just want to come out and come back sometimes is the pride a little bit too much more than what they can actually do?
A lot of the older fighters, they're looking at the money, the dollar.
Yeah.
And they're not thinking about their health. And first of me, is everybody say, Chuck, your age. I never retired and I never stopped boxing.
Right.
So my body is still in tune with the sport that I started doing when I was 10 years old.
Right.
And I don't abuse my body. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't be clubbing. I don't party. All I do is train every day.
Still, even to this day, you still keep the same regimen?
I'm still 142 pounds right now, and
Man.
got a fight coming at 140 or 135.
What do you think in a lot of these young fighters nowadays that are coming up? What do you think is the hardest lesson that a lot of them have to learn as they're breaking into the game? Is it managing their money? Is it taking bad fights? I mean, like if you were to give advice to a young boxer, getting into the game, what would you tell them?
Get a solid team together where you can manage your money. Make sure you have money for long longevity down the road. And
it happens to a lot of guys.
One thing, it ain't all about boxing.
Right.
You got to be able to market yourself outside the ring.
Right.
Because when you're not able to fight no more, what are you going to do?
Right. Yeah. Now, Chop Chop, where did that come from? The nickname Chop Chop?
From eating.
Eating? Are you a pork chop guy, lamb chop guy? What?
I just had some lamb chop yesterday, but I like pork chops too.
So it's all about the chops.
I love chop. I can eat. At 10 years old, I was weighing 65 pounds, and we went out of town, and we were getting ready for the fight. And I got on the scale, 65 flat. My trainer said, look, okay, you got to weigh in tomorrow. You got to fight, 65 pounds.
Yeah.
We went out to eat. I came back weighing 75 pounds. He said, you chop that food up. I'm gonna call you Chop Chop. Now you gotta move up and weight and fight the bigger guys. I moved up to 75 pounds. I made it to the championship. But ever since then, he's been calling me Chop Chop. And I've been chopping my opponents up.
Yeah, it fits. Now, other than Spence and Crawford, who we've already mentioned, are there other welterweights or in any weight, any boxers right now that you're really keeping a keen eye on? You know what I mean? Like guys who you say in your head, geez, that guy's got it. I'm going to follow his career. I like what he's doing.
I like Ennis.
Yeah, me too. I love Boots.
I like his style. I like the way he works. And another one, what's the kid name? He's out of Philly, I think.
Philadelphia spawns a lot of good fighters, though, right? While you're thinking of the name, though, a lot of tough guys come from Philadelphia.
Yeah, we were talking about fighting him at one time, but it didn't happen. I can't think of his name on the tip of my tongue now. He wear the pretty pink. He like wearing pink sometimes.
Oh, his name's on the tip of my tongue too. I can see his face. A flashy fighter. Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about, and now neither one of us are going to be able to think of his name. So other than the Spence Crawford fight, what other fights do you think that are on the horizon that could really help push the sport of boxing forward? Obviously, we need the Spence Crawford one. Do you think Fury stays retired? Do you think we see the big Fury Joshua fight?
I would like to see that fight happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like for Fury to come back and fight Joshua. And
that's of course if he gets past Usyk here and regains his belts again. Is it just as interesting of a fight if Fury fights Usyk, or does it not have the same pizzazz?
I would like to see that fight. Whoever wins. Yeah. Because Fury is the man right now.
Yeah. He is. Now, do you think that it's a wise decision? I mean, he has a family, he has numerous kids, a wife. If he chooses to retire and he doesn't get the Joshua or Usyk fight, is his legacy safe?
Yeah, he's done. He's done. His legacy good.
He's done enough just with the 3 Wilder fights.
Oh, that done it right there.
Yeah. Do you think we see do you think we ever see Wilder back to the mountaintop? Do we see Wilder with a heavyweight belt again?
He may get a title again, but he's easy to beat now.
Yeah. Guys haven't figured out.
He's been exposed.
Yeah. So when a guy gets exposed like that, as you're putting it, a guy gets exposed and somebody draws up the blueprint for beating him. Does it make it harder for him to select fights? I mean, does he have to look at his opponent's style a little bit more and say, geez, I just got my ass handed to me by Fury, so maybe I shouldn't, maybe I should look for a guy who fights this style or that style?
Yeah, he has to select his opponents very well, because if he get an opponent that can take a punch,
Yeah.
he's gonna have a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
If he like what's his name almost got him? The Cuban guy.
Luis Ortiz.
Ortiz.
Yeah. He was in trouble in that fight.
I think if you give Ortiz a third fight, Ortiz will get him.
Yeah.
Ortiz got to do is move that head more and put more pressure on him.
Yeah, it just goes to show that you can't just get by just off of punching power. Yeah, because Wilder skated for a long time just on that big power that he has in that right hand until he started running into people at a higher level with a high IQ and boxing skills.
Yeah, and what it was, Wilder put fear in a lot of people. He had people afraid of his power, like Mike Tyson had people afraid of him.
Yeah, I wore the shirt just for you tonight. See, I wore the everyone's got the plan until they get punched in the mouth. Since we're on the topic of Mike Tyson, what did you think when Tyson came back and had his quote unquote exhibition with Roy Jones? Would you like to see more of Big Mike?
I would like to see more of Mike if his health is good. I mean, Mike smoke a lot of weed now.
Yeah.
if he can pass the physical and the doctor will approve him, then I think he should go ahead and have some fun and give the fans what they want to see.
Yeah, why not? Yeah. So when you were going into the fight, and I know this is taking you back quite a few years, when you go back and you look back at that fight with Floyd Mayweather, and I'm sure you've watched it, replayed it, is there anything that you think that you could have done that could have changed the course of that fight? What was it? Was it something that you didn't do, or was it just what Floyd was able to do?
It was what he was able to do, and I stopped sticking to the game plan was to keep him fighting. Yeah. What he was able to do was zap me. When I say zap me, he was zapping my energy because he started going to the body.
Yeah.
After I hurt him.
Yeah.
And his uncle Roger told him in the fifth round coming out. After I hurt him in the fourth round, he told him, box that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Don't bang with him, box him.
Yeah.
And from round 5 on, Floyd started pop-shotting and boxing and placing his punches, and he started zapping my energy to the body.
So you wanted to turn it into somewhat of a brawl.
That was the game plan, to keep Floyd fighting me for the whole fight so we can catch him in exchange. And that's what I did early.
Right. Now, how does Floyd's, I mean, it's always going to be debated, who the GOAT is, who the greatest of all time is. First of all, let me ask you, is Floyd the greatest of all time?
In this era right now, yeah.
In this era, he is. Of all time, though?
Of all time? What is all time? When you say all time?
I guess since the inception of boxing, how does he stack up against the Sugar Ray Robinsons and the guys of past eras?
No, Sugar Ray Robinson would have whooped Floyd ass, though.
All right, fair enough. So Floyd's legacy of being the greatest of all time is pretty secure. So, what do you think it is that's making him tick and keep coming back and continuing to fight?
He's a bank robber.
He's a bank robber. So yeah, so it's all about the money.
That's it. He's robbing the bank, and he loved it. He enjoyed getting away with robbing the bank.
Yeah, because we do pay exorbitant amounts of money for these fights.
Who wouldn't enjoy robbing a bank and get away with it?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
He's having fun. Having fun.
Now, do you think though that and I'd heard someone criticize his legacy in terms of the fact that the fights that he's been in, he's never really had those big defining wars. And I guess boxing is obviously the art of hitting and not getting hit. So you could obviously say that he did it the right way or whatever. But do you think that his resume does lack those big battles or those big wars, or you think him being able to avoid those is a credit to what he does and does so well?
He had big wars. Which big wars y'all want to say now?
Right.
Boxing is an art.
Right.
It's art and science. And he knows how to do it. He mastered hit, not get hit.
Right. Right.
And it ain't what the judges, it ain't what the fans see, what the
Right.
spectators see, it's what the judges see. If that
Right.
joker hit you 5 times, you hit him 2 times, who winning?
Right. Right. That's true. Right. But the knock on Floyd throughout his career has always been, sometimes the fights weren't so aesthetically pleasing to watch. He was been accused of running and moving around a lot and not really engaging with fighters, and his fights kind of coming off as boring. Do you think that's a fair criticism, or do you think, again, that that's a testimony to him being such a great boxer?
It's his style of fighting. He's not a knockout person unless he can break you down and then hit you. But he has brittle hands because he doesn't ball his fists up. He punches with speed, not power.
Right, right. So it's more kind of like, it's almost more like getting hit by like a whip rather than like an anvil, so to speak. When you were leading up to the fight, leading up to the Floyd Mayweather fight, I don't know if he was as brash and as much of a trash talker as he came to be in later years, but at any point during the build-up to the fight, did he get under your skin at all? Was there a lot of trash talking and a lot of Floyd being Floyd?
Yeah, Floyd was being Floyd. He was talking trash, and he beat my best friend in the amateurs. So he was saying, "Yeah, I'm gonna do you like I did your friend. I'm gonna stop you. I'm gonna stop you." I was like, "No, you ain't gonna stop me. I'm coming." And I said, "Trust me, you don't hit hard enough." But he tried. He tried.
Right. So when he does those tactics and tries to get under people's skin, and with his words and his actions, sometimes, how do you avoid getting pulled into that? Because Floyd seems like a master of that. How do you avoid getting pulled into a game like that he's very good at?
Everybody's different. Me, I'm just a laid back, quiet person. I ain't trying to start no smoke. But if the smoke get lit, I'm there. And when Floyd start talking, okay, you can talk it, but come fight time, we're gonna see what you're gonna do.
Right. Yeah. Right. Miguel Cotto is another guy that you were in there with. How tough of a guy back then was Miguel Cotto?
They say Cotto was tough. Me, I honestly can say, I don't know because they stopped the fight. He hit me on the hip. I took a knee, thought I was doing something to get myself together.
Right.
And the referee stopped the fight.
Bad stoppage.
And the game's plan was to take Cotto in the later rounds because we knew he was going to get tired. He struggled to make weight.
Yep.
At the 6th round, Cotto was going to be done.
Yeah. Yeah. I believe he would have been.
I could have got a rematch.
And what happened when you tried to get a rematch? Just didn't happen?
Nah, I wasn't promoted with Top Mike. I was with Don King.
Okay, so do you feel like at any point in your career, do you feel like that that because of your management and the team around you, do you feel like that you ever missed out on any opportunities that you wanted?
Nah, I know because he got me fights with the that he had until he did no more for me, and then he gave me a release.
Okay. So, what's next for Chop Chop? You said you got the fight coming up. Will you continue to fight, and for how long will you continue to fight?
I think we're gonna run. Yeah, I'm 22. Then went to 23. I think 23 gonna be my last year of boxing. I'm having.
You're getting a little broken. You're getting a little broken up. Can you move your phone a little, or your?
Hear me?
Yeah, just your picture was like freezing a little bit.
I think I'm gonna tap out at 2023 next year. I'm getting a little trouble with feedback from the commissioners on the East Coast. On the East Coast about the age now. He's almost 50 years old. They're looking at Bernard's last performance. Nothing against Bernard. He just fought a better fighter at that time, and he took a beating.
Right.
But over the years, Chop and took no beating. Chop moved his head.
Right. So do you think that? So do you think it's unfair of these boxing commissions to just look at a number and just look at an age? And do you feel like they're just kind of judging everybody kind of cookie cutter? Like they're just, they're not looking at the mileage and the actual wear and tear on you. They're just looking at your chronological age, a number.
They're looking at the mileage and the wear and tear, but also they're not looking at how a fighter lives.
Right.
They look at one fighter and then they think all fighters do that.
Yep. Yep. Right. Like you're living the lifestyle all the time, right? So
And they can see
you're
that.
you're a young, I don't know how old you are, but in your mid to late 40s, I assume.
I'm 48.
48, right, but you look like you're 28.
And I feel amazing.
That's a testament to what you're doing right. When you were growing up, who were the fighters that you looked at and emulated? Who was the guys that you really idolized?
Pernell Whitaker, #1.
Pernell Whitaker, Sweet Pea. All right.
Southpaw. Marvin Hagler.
Oh, man.
Mark Two Shop Johnson, another southpaw.
Yeah.
Sean Bay Mitchell, another southpaw.
Yeah.
And then I started looking at other fighters like Keith Holmes, which was another southpaw.
Yep.
Sugar Ray Leonard, Frankie Randall. I got a chance to work with Frankie Randall.
Now, your upbringing was in Washington, D.C.?
Yep.
Was boxing always the game plan, even when you were young? Or at any point in time, did you ever think about doing anything else once you put on the gloves and started this?
At 10 years old, once I started, I knew what I wanted to be.
You had your mind already made up. Now, what was your now in Washington, D.C., what was your upbringing like? Did you have a rough upbringing? Were you in a lot of fights as a kid?
Nah, no, because I was a boxer already, so nobody wanted to bother me like that.
That helps out in school a lot, huh?
Yeah, they know. Oh, he boxed. We ain't gonna bother him.
Yeah, don't bother him. When you look at all these guys who are getting into the Boxing Hall of Fame, and we just had a big class go in, like I said here, just this past year here, we had 3 years worth of people going in. What do you think the criteria is for getting into the Boxing Hall of Fame? I mean, because, the people that get in, it's always debated. Do you think it has to do with, your resume, your longevity, a combination of everything?
I truly don't know. I can't wait till I retire. And they say you got to wait 5 years. I'm hoping they change that because I ain't trying to sit down for 5 years and then I go into the. They need to do 3 years, no fighting, you're done, and then you get inducted. I'm ready to go in, but I ain't ready to retire yet.
You ain't ready to, right? So, is there anybody in particular, before you hang it up, though, is there any names out there that the people would recognize that you want to fight?
I'm looking at the guys at 135 right now. The champions, which is Tank, Devin Haney. But see, they're going to be moving up soon.
Right.
I'm not going nowhere. I'm still at 135.
Right.
You can go ahead and move out this weight class, and a new breed of fighters will come in, and then I'll take a look at them. Next year, Devin Haney, he's going to be fighting at 140. Tank's going to be fighting at 140 next year.
Right.
Josh Cheltenham, they already at 140.
So at this point, when you take a fight, is it one of those instances where like you want it to be like instant impact? You want to step right in and fight the top elite guys at that weight?
I would like to fight somebody in the top 15 right now.
Yeah.
Just for that statement to let them know, hey, that old man's still here. He ain't gone yet.
Yeah, chalk one up for the old men. I love that. How about a guy like a Lomachenko?
I've been in there with Lomachenko. He's too young for me right now, but he's getting older though.
Yeah, he is getting older. Do you think
I would like to work with him again? We sparred before.
Now, do you think that him having a record already with 2 losses, and I know his early loss in his career against Orlando Salido, was very highly contested. A lot of people thought there was a lot of dirty tactics by Salido, that maybe Lomachenko got the short end of the stick. And then I think against Teofimo, he just was his own worst enemy and just didn't step on the gas early enough and gave away too many of those early rounds. I don't think it was anything that Teofimo really did so much as what Lomachenko didn't do. But do you think with the 2 losses and still being under 20 fights, do you think he still deserves to be on that top 10 pound for pound list? Because he's still up there, even with like a 14-2 or 15-2 record. Is it his skill set that keeps him on that list?
I don't think he should be on the pound for pound list now because I mean he haven't done nothing since he lost. He's been out of the country, back at home. He need
Right.
to fight. He need to fight.
Yeah. Does that pound for pound list confuse the hell out of you? Because I think that when I look at that list, and I've talked about this with other boxing fans, the pound for pound list to me would seem like if you're pound for pound the greatest fighter, I feel like that means you're beating people at every weight. So wouldn't that make like the biggest freaking guy on there? I mean, I know that size doesn't always win fights, but then doesn't that make Tyson Fury the greatest pound for pound guy? I mean, who's beating him at his weight or any weights underneath that?
Well, he can't fight at any weight underneath that. Ain't nobody gonna
Right.
get in there with him.
Right. So essentially what the pound for pound list is doing, it's kind of like, it's making up rules that don't really exist though, right? I mean, because we can't really see these matchups to find out if Tyson Fury could beat a Terrence Crawford. I mean,
No, you wouldn't match nobody up like that. It's just pound for pound. He's the pound for pound at heavyweight.
right. So it should be viewed as
They're trying to see who's pound for pound at welterweight, which we got to see Earl and Bud fight, and then we'll know who is undisputed, and then we'll say who's pound for pound.
so that really right there is pretty much the deciding factor in your mind who you think is pound for pound. It really comes down to Spence and Crawford at this point.
Yeah, at welterweight.
Yeah,
They
and welterweight.
also pound for pound at lightweight.
Right. Um, when you think about these gimmick fights here, like we had mentioned earlier, with the Jake Paul and his brother Logan getting these fights, what do you think it means, or how do you think other boxers take it when they look at him getting these huge paydays? Like if you're a guy who's like slaved away, in this game, how do other boxers that you talk to and deal with, how do they look at these fights? I mean, guys that are living it like you are, living the lifestyle all the time and grinding. I mean, is there a certain animosity or a certain, are you playing pissed off that a guy can just come in and after 4 or 5 fights be making a boatload of money?
No, you can't be pissed off. It's just Jake and them he has money behind him and he has a team, which smaller fighters don't have a team because they don't have money behind them. Like they don't have the Al Heyman, they don't have Bob Earn,
Right.
They don't have the Zone, they don't have Golden Boy. And it takes a marketing team and a promoter to build you.
Right.
On top of your social media. Now, it ain't even too much of the promoters that's building the fighters. It's the social media.
Right. So how do you see this upcoming fight with Jake Paul shaking out? I don't know a lot about Hasim Rahman Jr. Obviously, we know that the old man did pretty well for himself. KO'd Lennox Lewis back in the day, held the heavyweight title for a little bit. You probably might know more about Hasim Rahman than I do. How do you see this fight shaking out?
I think it's going to be a great fight. I like Jake Paul in this fight. I think he's going to be the better conditioned fighter, and he's the bigger fighter when it comes to the heavyweights landing punches. Rahman can fight. Rock can fight. It's in his DNA to fight, but I just don't think the conditioning is going to be there in the later rounds.
So if it does go into the later rounds, you think that's where Rahman's in trouble?
And I just seen Rock when he fought Tommy's son.
Now,
and, the later rounds he lost.
Now, are you more interested in seeing this Jake Paul fight with Hasim Rahman Jr., or did you like the fight that was initially scheduled with Tyson Fury's half brother Tommy? Would you have rather seen that one come off?
I like this one.
You like this one more?
Yeah, because Rock can fight. Rock is a mean joker.
Yeah, and so this is the kind of test that Jake needs.
This is a comeback fight for Hasim because he just lost against Tommy's son. I can't think of his son's name, but he just got beat.
How do we get Chop Chop back in the ring with Floyd Mayweather? I want to see it happen. Let's get it. Let's get it, Chop Chop. Let's get it. Come on.
You must got a magic phone. You're gonna be able to call Floyd and convince him to do it. Hey Floyd, get Chop Chop an exhibition at the Legion Stadium in Las Vegas. Everybody gonna come out and support.
Yeah. Hey,
and we're gonna give you $20 million, and then
that
he'll
sounds
do it.
nice. That sounds nice. So, are you a family man with children of your own?
Oh yeah, I used to be a breeder.
And do you have children? Do you have children that are into boxing? Any of your kids following in your footsteps?
Yeah, one I had three in my following my footsteps, but they want to do their own thing. So I just got two now who's still trying to do it, but not serious about it yet.
So they just don't have that discipline to live the lifestyle that's required every day.
Well, the 9-year-old, he's just not in the gym because he's on the East Coast. But my 22-year-old, he's not disciplined enough yet. He don't want to commit to that lifestyle of boxing.
Yeah, and it is total devotion.
Boxing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a lot of devotion. It really is. So when you look back at all those fights you had, stepping between those ropes 86 times, what was your motivation for staying in such a rough sport like that for more than 2 decades? Because obviously, you didn't back up the Brinks truck like Floyd and make tons and tons and tons of money. Is it just for pure love of the sport that you stayed around for that long?
I love it. I truly love it. And if I had it my way, I would ask God, the man up above, if I can go, I want to go doing something I love to do.
Sure.
Which is fight. I love to fight. I'm gonna try to do another bare knuckle fight before I retire.
Okay, that was gonna be my next question. What differences do you see? I mean, obviously, we know that one is with gloves and one is without, but is the mindset and the preparation and everything else, is it pretty much the same going in with the gloves as it is in the bare knuckle game?
Now, the preparation is different. The mindset, you is a different mindset.
Yeah.
Because you don't got the gloves on. You're totally thinking different now.
Is it a lot of hand conditioning?
Yeah, strengthening your hands and push-ups and punching the boards and stuff.
Now, when you talk about still wanting to fight currently in boxing, if you got any of these guys at 135 that we're talking about here, would you stick around long enough? I know you said 2023 was kind of where you were drawing the line, but if you started to get some traction, could we see you go even longer or make a title run or anything like that? Or is 2023, are you pretty firm on that? You just want a couple of more fights and then get out? Like, what if you really picked up traction and things really started to go good and you knock off a couple of these current guys?
Yeah. My goal is to fight for a world title again. One more world title.
One more run at it. One more stab at it. Yeah, I love that. So, are you currently still in Washington, D.C. right now?
I'm in Las Vegas. It's hot. It's 100 degrees outside.
Now, is that where you call home nowadays, Las Vegas?
Yep.
And do you love it out there?
I love it.
And Floyd is not too far away, right? You could probably run right over his house, couldn't you, and ask him for a rematch?
Nah, I can't run. That's too many miles.
Hey, listen, man, I hope that it comes off for you, man. I would love to see it. I thought you were giving Floyd a hell of a good fight. It was a lot of give and take, back and forth or whatever. Do you think that had a rematch happened that you could have beat Floyd?
Yeah.
Would you have gone in with a different game plan? Or would you still have tried to brawl with him?
It would have been a make a dog fight. I would have made him fight me.
Yeah. Is that the only way to beat Floyd? Is that the only way to beat Floyd? Because it's very hard to stay on the outside and box with him.
Yes, exactly. You can't let him think. Floyd played chess while fighters are fighting.
Right. So, is there anybody out there currently, right now, or in the past that you could see possibly beating Floyd? Is there anybody out there that can touch him?
I will have to see how Floyd performed if he ever have another fight first. He's 43 years old now.
Yeah. Are these spectacles that he pulls off here with like the likes of like Conor McGregor and Logan Paul? Are these more of like a cash grab? And if he's worth so much money, why these cash grabs? Why these high price fights at this point in his career that the public has to pay for?
Because he is a bank robber.
It goes back to the it goes back to the bank robbing thing.
he gonna put it. Look, I want this amount, and people are like, Floyd, really? Yeah. Look, this is what I want. This is what y'all gonna give me.
Yeah.
He demanded, and he can.
Right.
He know people want to see him.
He can put his own price tag on things. Yeah.
There you go.
So, there's been talk with him coming back about running it back with Conor McGregor, running it back with Manny Pacquiao. Who would you like to see him run it back with? Obviously, of course, taking yourself out of the equation because you want a piece of him. But who would you like to see him that you really think would be a good bona fide fight?
I think Manny would give him a better fight than Conor McGregor.
We don't need to see Conor again. Yeah.
Whoever he fight, I want to work because both of them are southpaws.
Yeah.
So you got to call me for sparring.
Yeah. So there you go. Chop Chop is still available for sparring. Chop Chop. I myself retired on top and undefeated with a very stellar 11-0 record.
Well, that's good.
No, I didn't really. It just sounds cool to say. I wanted to come on here. I've been doing my podcast with sunglasses on because I just had surgery on a detached retina. So hopefully my eye doesn't look too mangled. But I wish I had a cool story to connect to it. You know what I mean? Like it happened like in the heat of a boxing match or something. But really, it's just one of those old age type things. You know, just wake up one day and you can't fucking see. I don't know. Well,
wow.
Listen, man, it is a real pleasure to talk boxing with you. I know you got a flight to catch. I appreciate it. I appreciate you making the time for us today, man. It's great talking boxing with you. People want to find you or follow you. You're out there, right? Instagram, all that stuff.
DeMarcus Corley 2019.
2019. And you're out there on Facebook. You're out there on Twitter. You're out there on Instagram.
Yep. Sure is. Yep.
It's been a pleasure talking with you, sir. Safe travels on your flight, man. I appreciate you making the time, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate you being honest with us and finally someone telling us that Floyd hits like a bitch. We needed to hear that. I mean, it's a good way to get a fight, Chop Chop. It's a good way to get a fight. Dog the guy out, right?
Yep.
Yeah. It was great talking with you, sir. I salute you. Thanks again, buddy.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Yes. Have a good night.
All right.
There you have it, folks. Short and sweet. The great DeMarcus Chop Chop Corley. Former, what the hell was he? The former WBO junior welterweight title holder from 2001 to 2003. That's a tough bastard right there. That's a guy that's been in with everybody. Everybody. If you're boxing fans out there, he's been in with Lucas Matisse, Marcos Maidana, Devin Alexander, Ashley Theophane, Hank Lundy, Victor Postal, fucking Floyd Mayweather Jr. I mean, that's the pinnacle right there. I mean, if a guy has shared the room with Floyd, or if a guy has shared the ring with Floyd, he's bona fide. That's a guy right there that likes to get it on right there. That's a guy that punches faces for a real living. And so I hope you guys enjoyed that. Short and sweet. Guy was nice enough to give us some time, and we certainly appreciate it. And I appreciate you joining us again for another episode of Pod Scum. I am your host, Rex Ruger, and we will see you